Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hi, I'm Mike Matthews. This is Mike's Daily Podcast, episode 1598. 1598. Just 2 away from 1600. Oh my God. Hi, we're at Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. I might have some new listeners today. I met 2 lovely ladies. They're both their names.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Starting with the letter W. Wilma and Wanda. So W2 in time for
Mike's Daily Podcast.
tax season. Oh, and by the way, I also saw on that same walk with Basil the boxer, I saw someone who is not a big talker. She usually talks to me very quickly and gets me in and out of her office. And I am talking about someone whose name's not Alice. It's D. She's my CPA.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And yes, it's tax season, so I had to talk to her. And then I talked to W2, so that was interesting. What a day.
Mike's
that I like to tell you
Daily
about these things that happen.
Podcast.
To yours truly, Mike Matthews.
Yeah.
Even businessmen that rob and steal and cheat from people every day, even they have to pay taxes.
And that is coming up. That's a fact, Jack. It is raining in the Bay Area. This is something that blows my mind. When it rains in April in California, and the lovely Greta Bronner is on C-SPAN this morning. Look who just walked in. Speaking of lovely.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. Oh my God, why are you so hyped up today?
I don't know, Chely. I don't know. I guess I'm in a good mood because I'm going to go on a Mike excursion tomorrow and see the Barracuda hockey team play in the SAP Center. I have not been to the SAP Center. Look who else walked in. Since when I got married, a marriage that ended in divorce, that I went to see a concert, Sarah McLachlan, and that's just how it happens. When I say her name, I have to get the in there. McLachlan. A song to the angels. And I saw her and this great performer who never got popular here in America, Butterfly Boucher.
And here's today's podcast picture.
She had a song that went, another white dash, another white dash, another white dash, and I go on for ages. It was a great song. Had this kind of had this great intro, and yeah. So she was there. And oh, by the way, did I mention that this was my bachelor night? My best man, who was my then wife's brother, who were still good friends. He took me to this Butterfly Boucher. There is something excited about it. I think this was big in Australia. But yeah, this is, 14 years ago that song came out. So we go and see this Sarah McLachlan concert. She puts on a great show, Sarah McLachlan. She did her Your Love is Better Than Ice Cream, Better Than Anything I've Ever Had, which I used to listen to fumbling towards ecstasy when I would do the overnight shift. I'd come home from the radio station I worked at in Thousand Oaks, California. I'd come home and it'd be 5 in the come home in the evening, and I ain't got nothing to say. And I would the Sarah McLachlan's Fumbling Towards Ecstasy on because I was a huge CD store at the time. I'm not going to take you back to record stores, my friend. I'm going to take you back. At this point, they were CD stores. I know it's all nostalgic, talk about record stores, but it was a CD store, and it wasn't a CD store, as in the SEEDIEFG word, but CDs. And I went in there and I saw this CD, and I'm like, you know what? My CD library does not have any women in it And I think there's something wrong with that. I need to buy a female artist's album. And I saw this, and I didn't even hear any songs off of it. I didn't know who this girl was, Sarah McLachlan. But I saw she wrote everything on the album. I'm like, I want to hear this. And I took it home. And at this point, drum machines and synthesizers, they were being used, but she took it a different direction, and her songs were just so close, right from her gut. Right, and I hate the term gut. And when we talk about microbiotics in the gut, when you have you ever hear scientists talk about the gut? I hate that. Just talk about it's in the stomach. You're talking about the stomach. Why do you have to say gut like a guy who goes bowling and has this thing spilling out over his belt? I don't want to hear that word. So I listened to this album and loved Sarah McLachlan, and somehow my ex-brother-in-law, he said, hey, he found out about that. You want to see Sarah McLachlan at the SAP Center the night before you get married? I go, oh, okay. And it was kind of like, I guess a bachelor party, there's women involved. There was a woman involved. The first woman I ever bought a CD of, and Sarah McLachlan right there in concert at the SAP Peener. Whoa, Freudian slip. Peener? I don't think that word's quite a bad word, but it sounds like it's getting there, huh? SAP Center is where I went to see that show. So I have not been back since then, and I am going to go tomorrow. So the lovely WW, we're missing one more W, we'll have a website. W2, Wilma and Wanda talked to Basil. They petted Basil. Basil was in absolute heaven. And then as I'm standing there talking to them for probably about a half hour, it drops that I'm the host of a podcast that I've been doing now for 7 years. Wow, it's going to be 7 years this year. Jeez. And so, is that good luck or bad luck? And so I show them how to listen to the album and the show, the podcast, and maybe now they're not listening. Maybe they are listening to the show. At any rate, it was great. I love meeting new people, such nice people. I love meeting super nice people, and these are nice people. WW, thank you for listening to the show. And I hope you meet nice people on your weekend, because there's nothing more enhancing. You can take any drug you want, and you will not get the same high as meeting or talking to an uplifting, positive person. There's nothing. We are like dogs in that we are social. People forget dogs are social beings. They need to see other dogs. They need to see other people. Oh, my dog barks at other people. He doesn't like other dogs. No. That's because you're not socializing them. Inherently, a dog needs to see and meet and smell, and, they smell areas of other dogs that some people are put off by, but that's how they do it. And humans don't, thankfully. But if you keep a dog chained up, hidden in the house, that's the worst thing. They've got to be meeting people. So, people need people, as a Barbra Streisand song once pointed out. So we need to be and meet positive people in our lives. So I hope you get to meet someone very positive today, tomorrow, the next day. And that's my wish. I think I've run out of gas at this moment. What was the podcast picture yesterday? I settled upon a picture of Alameda, didn't I? The marina there. Shoreline Park. And last time I went there, by the way, was not a very fun experience. I didn't bring up this point, but the last time I went there was around New Year's Day, I think. And I had to use the bathroom in the worst way, and there were no bathrooms. There are no bathrooms in that area. There is a public bathroom, but there's some guy living in it. So you can't go in there. You don't want to go in there. So that was my only negative comment about that particular place in Alameda. Oh, what's this? Oh, What's this? I'm singing Nightmare Before Christmas song. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, I'm going to post a picture from Monterey. How about that? We'll go to Monterey together, and we'll put Basil in this picture. Shall we? Let's see. Yes! Oh! We found it. Basil looking out over the beach, and we need more Basil pictures. I was telling the 2Ws about how my podcast has featured... I talk about pictures of Basil, or I feature in my Instagram pictures of Basil. And the 2Ws told me they don't do Instagram, which shocked me. I'm like, doesn't everybody do Instagram? At any rate, at any point, in any case, hey, somebody dissolved parliament in Malaysia. Najib Razak, the PM, he faces opposition leader Mahathir Mohamad, who served 22 years as the country's leader and has come back to topple the UMNO party. He announced the dissolution, Najib Razak, the dissolution of parliament today, officially kicking off election season in the country. It's going down there in Malaysia, which I once had, and you know, that's the wonderful thing about the Bay Area. I'm so positive today. Everything's wonderful and coming up roses, but that's okay because it's Friday and we can be like that. The one time I went to Anchor Steam Brewery. I like beer. I like well-crafted beer. I'll drink Budweiser to default once in a while to reset, this is how beer at a base level tastes. But I need to taste different types of beers, different creative brewmasters, unlike the one who's here at Cafe Anyway. All he does is ever make root beer. But he is someone we love. And I didn't even mention the other people that walked in, and I apologize. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. We also have the Brewmaster here. Uh-oh, awkward.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Oh, boy. Have some right now, you jerk.
Ow. Sorry. Your root beer is fantastic. But, yeah, so I was at Anchorstein and had the beer there. It's the original factory that's somewhere, what's that place called? Potrero Hill in San Francisco. And they have a free tour, but you got to go. The tours are only in the afternoon during the week, and you got to book it in advance. So I've done this twice now, and they've got these great pictures of Janis Joplin when she went there back when she was a Big Brother holding company, and they're all drinking beer. They're great pictures on the wall of that and other things. This Anchor Steam has been around for a long time, and a building is old and it's brick and it's beautiful, and these big, huge, I guess they're copper vats making the beer, and the steaming process. They explain the whole thing, and then afterwards they give you beer, so free beer, and they let you taste, and I think they give you about to hang out. You can hang out for about 40 minutes, and then they kick you out because they got another tour come in. But you, in that time, can drink a lot of beer. And so I'm a little bit tipsy, and I meet this lovely couple from Malaysia. And we're talking, and they say, hey, we're going to go get some food at one of these you guys have all over the place here in San Francisco. And they mix American food with Filipino food, and it's supposed to be good. I go, okay, that sounds great. I'll go with you. So we hopped on a bus because we were all in public transit. And we get to this area on Market Street, near Market Street, and in the Market District of San Francisco. I can't remember where anything is now. It was near the Powell BART station and Montgomery. There we go. And there was this food truck that I've seen all over the place now, and they do this one burrito, which was National Burrito Day yesterday, which I just didn't know while I was making the show, and I apologize, but I love burritos, and this burrito that I got had French fries in it. Oh my God, it was wonderful. And I talked to this couple from Malaysia, And right after that was the horrible... All right, one more thing there. The horrible plane crash, the Malaysian plane crash that happened. They weren't on it. They were not on it, thankfully. But we talked about Malaysia and the food they got there is so good and stuff. So this is a long way to go to tell you that Prime Minister Najib Razak faces opposition leader Mahathir Mohamad, who served 22 years as the country's leader before retiring in 2003, and has come back determined to topple the party he once led. He is 92, Mahathir, and he breathed life into the pre-election period with a stunning return to frontline politics by joining forces with his arch-nemesis, former Deputy Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, whom he once jailed for corruption and sodomy. This according to CNN. Another white dash. Butterfly voucher. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. May I suggest to you another podcast, if you didn't like today's podcast? I love the Daily that the New York Times puts out. Today, Michael Barber talked with this farmer.
10. A complete report with Patty Weiss and Bob Richardson. Michael Goodrich with the weather. Ron Brooks on sports.
That's so funny. That music is the same music they use at the ABC affiliate.
Here's what's happening at 10. For Arizonans, Decision 80 is just 8 hours away.
My mom was an anchor. She was the first female evening anchor in the state of Arizona.
It'll be a busy day with voters.
What is that show about? That one is about... I haven't listened to that one. Oh, they're talking about how, like Sinclair, what I've been talking about all week. Sinclair Broadcasting had all their anchors read this exact same thing about how fake news, all the other news outlets are fake news and that they stand behind Trump, etc. But this one, they were discussing
retaliation against them by China.
The tariff going on with China, which, by the way, I just downloaded WeApp, not WeChat, the app that you use to speak to anyone who's in China. And apparently this app is used by a lot of people that I know that aren't in China. So WeChat is now a thing. And I'm on there. My name is Mike Podcast, because I'm Mike Matthews and I do a podcast. So it's Mike Podcast. That's also where I am on Skype, if you want to do a Skype sometime. But
in Maple Park, Illinois.
That's right. He was a farmer in Illinois. And this farmer was hilarious. He was...
And pork are all on the list of products that China has decided to go after.
Yeah, pork.
I guess I was probably a little surprised when President Trump secured the nomination.
Pork.
I don't think there was any doubt in my mind.
This farmer's talking about pork.
But I was concerned about when the campaign was going on was, his issues and campaign rhetoric on trade. And I was hoping that might soften.
So he voted for Trump, this farmer,
because he would listen to some of his advisors.
But he was also very worried about this whole thing with the tariffs, because now I sound a little bit like Michael Barbaro.
China's entrance into the World Trade Organization has enabled the greatest job theft in the history of our country.
And were you worried that Trump would follow through on these policies that he was outlining as a candidate?
I was slightly worried, but I guess I was more hopeful than what I am today or what I've seen happen in the last couple of weeks. And obviously disappointed that what has happened has happened.
Poor pork. By the way, I learned a really funny expression on that show called wag. That's a wag. That's a wild-ass guess. When somebody goes, hey, how much money do you think you make a year? Well, that's a wild-ass guess. Well, some people don't have to guess. They have it all itemized and they figure it out all ahead. But some people ask me questions. How many people listen to your podcast? Oh, that's a wag. That's what I'm going to say from now on. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in podcast. Oh, we've gone outside already. Okay. Well, or have we? I don't know. Hey, cafe, I don't know. Cafe anyway, thank you so much for listening to today's show. It got a little unhinged at the end there, but at least it was never seedy.
Anyway,
Cafe anyway. Thank you for listening. Now, I'll see you at the Mike-excursion as we go to the Barracuda to see their game against the Stockton Heat, I think it is. And then we might even see each other at Pet Food Express in Castro Valley on Sunday. Maybe, because I got to use their free veterinarian skill. Well, they're not free. You got to pay for the shots and stuff, but they have like a vet there that checks out your dog, and so I'm going to do that on Sunday. That's my plans for this weekend. Hope you have great plans for this weekend, and you meet some cool people and nice people. Talk to you on Monday. No Super Secret Sunday show. No Super Secret Sunday show. So talk to you Monday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. where you can see the podcast picture and find all the places that you can listen to this show. Hey, and I just submitted, that's the word, this show to Spotify. So possibly we'll be on Spotify soon. Yay! MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com to help out the show through. You can help out the show through the PayPal at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Have a great weekend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!